Hello my friends, how are you doing today? Nice to see you again, to see you nice. We are going to be going through some Psyker builds today. I'm going to be testing out a few pistol ones in particular. Pretty darn excited too because I've been having a little practice this morning. I've leveled up, I'm now 20, I've got access to all the weapons, all the gear. I've got access to 3 runes on each of my abilities, so we're going to have to do a quick couple of minutes of finishing this build off because I need to equip all of the other runes onto it, and then we're going to get cracking and actually do some missions and see how well we can do. So let's crack on in. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Repin. How you doing, Rep? I like the guide today. I watched your guide. Rep did a Chinese Psyker guide with English subtitles. And Unkraut Yeti, how's it going, brother? Nice to see you. And Harmon the regular. Harmon is here again. I didn't mean to click on the star map. Guys, we're going through the pistol builds today, so I'm going to be going back to my command bridge now. And we're first just going to finish off this build, just talk about how it works. Now, in terms of builds, I'm focusing on fire damage today. So with this rod, because I've only got one of them equipped, I only have one ability, which is Warp Blast, a ranged AoE warp-based ability. I would rather it be fire, and I'm looking currently for a staff that has fire damage on it, on its primary ability. I'm going to be using an Inferno pistol too. This could work with a plasma, it could work with a las pistol. However, I really like this because it applies vulnerability on it, which increases your heat damage by 10% per hit. And if you shoot them a few times with this, you do a lot more damage with your other abilities. So let's check out those other abilities down here. So other abilities we're going to be using now, the only two we're actually got in this build are Fiery Form, which gives us 50% extra damage to heat attacks, which includes not only our AoE Firestorm, but also our Melter Beam and Melting Ray. So basically everything we've got does lots of fire. Everything apart from Warp Blast, which we're going to try and replace with an AoE sort of spamming ability that we can use just to clear trash. When it comes to killing larger mobs, the Melter Beam does really good, and then you fire a couple of Melting Rays and job is a good one. Now in terms of skills, let's just have a quick look here and see what we're rocking. Damage over time, I'm working towards Soul Burn because Firestorm puts a burn on them. 20% less damage done by the enemy basically makes me 20% more tanky, very useful. I'm rocking with the hit point tree just because having the inoculator off of cooldown so often is incredibly helpful for a squishy class. Really, really recommend it. And I've gone for invulnerability for 3 seconds when a character's status has changed to warped, just to give it a try. I didn't find it that useful. Damage reduction by armor is increased by 20%, however, is quite useful. Now, if we go back over to damage over time, we can put that point in there. We don't have any bleeds, and we have another 2 points to spend. And you know what? 2% damage reduction, is that really worth it? I tell you what does look pretty good. There's some good support ones here. Ones I'm really looking forward to using. Minus 20% heat cost to your one skill in the support slot. That's kind of good if you've got one that you like spamming. Minus 10 warp heat on inoculator activation, good if you have that combined with what I've got in the hit point tree. I know I'm throwing a lot at you now, guys, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a heads up as to what we're doing, what we're thinking. I could go for range combat with this build. I could use some single DPS. I could use some crit. Crit would apply probably to everything I'm doing and be useful. Some of the single DPS things would also be useful. Heat attacks may also be useful too. Basically, I've got loads of different options. What I think I will work towards is extra damage penalty for every point of stacked vulnerability. So if I shoot someone 3 times or attack them with... Yeah, if I shoot someone 3 times, they're going to do 9% less damage to me. That's probably what I'll work towards. But for now, what I think we'll get instead is something like this, or perhaps let's just put something in there. There we go. So we've got a little bit of extra bonus suppression. Not the most exciting thing in the world, I know. So moving over to the psychic powers, these are the only 2 we really need to customize. At the moment, we've got skill effectiveness, skill cooldown. I tell you what, this is actually somewhere where actually I could unlock a few runes. So we're going to put something else on our Firestorm by getting rid of whatever we just put in. And I can't remember. There we go. So we've got 2 points now. 2 points to look at psychic debuffs or psychic combat and unlock something. So we could apply a slow to an enemy. Pretty useful. A stun. Pretty useful. Extra vulnerability. That might synergize well with what I'm thinking. I like the look of that. Damage over time. Well, most of them already do damage over time, so maybe that's not 100% necessary. What else do we have here? Armor piercing may be useful, actually, because, well, Armor piercing, yeah, armor piercing stuff is always handy. Although that being said, I do have some armor piercing stuff already. We'll have a quick look through here and then we'll get started. We don't really need this. We don't really need that. Critical hit's not too bad. Critical hit's not too bad at all. I think we'll go with vulnerability because it kind of does the same thing as piercing once you've done a few of them. Basically increases the damage you do. So we'll stick one there, we'll go back and we'll just stick this, whatever. We'll stick that there, we'll go back over to here, we'll go to here, we'll drag this in there. So our Firestorm is now, does more damage, reduces the cooldown and adds vulnerability to targets. Very nice. And the Fiery Form is going to be increased duration. Yep, we've got that. And at the moment we've got reduces skill cooldown, and I think we might as well reduce the warp cost for it at the moment. I would like something else in there, but I just want to crack on and play. So, la da 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 da. Yeah, I know, there'll be spelling errors all over the place, my friend. Is this for the description? Because honestly, I just bashed it out pretty quick. I'll take more care in future, honest. So we do have a premium mission here, level 500. And I think I am level 460, 470 rather, so that should be fine. We'll crack on and have a go at this then, see how easy it is. Shouldn't be too bad. If this is easy, well, we'll rinse through the story missions first, because I really want to get this guy leveled up. 1000 XP per run at the moment. And it's also the ugliest map. Hey-ho, you can't have everything in life. So how's everyone in the chat today? Now I've rambled a lot about the build that we're doing. How is everyone in the chat today? Is everyone having a nice weekend? Is everyone having a nice day? And is everyone having a nice Psyker as well? Now, in terms of build, always want to have this ability active. Number 2 does loads of damage, and number 1 and our left click combined do a pretty reasonable amount of damage. Not too bad at all, and for every attack I do on an enemy, the attack damage goes up, which is nice as well. You do have to be careful of overheating, but hey, you're not going to overheat with the pistol that quickly, and you should be spamming a few other abilities which should sort of prevent that happening too much. So we're going to do 3 to turn our shield on, then we're going to do an AoE right there, which should, yeah, kill most of them. Couple of AoEs to finish. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Firestorm is a really nice ability. It does a lot of damage. At the moment, although I really want to be a Biomancer, the flame is just better. Honestly, the flame builds are just better for the pure reason that the flame shield not only gives you mitigation, it not only damages nearby enemies, and it gives you a 50% damage bonus. Whereas you compare that with the Biomancer ability, which does absolutely nothing by comparison. It gives you 20% damage mitigation, and I think it generates a little bit of heat, but it's really not even comparable. Sword and pistol melee, do you still have room to use spells? Yes, you will, I believe, because the sword will only give you one ability, and you know what, actually, I'm not sure a sword and pistol is a thing, because both of them would typically only be used in the right hand. I'm not entirely sure you can sword and pistol. I can try it after this if you like, but I have a feeling they're both right hand only, so I think you will need a staff in your offhand. I'm not entirely sure. Right, let's rock and roll. Boo-boo! Right, fire a few shots off. I mean, the damage doesn't look incredible, but I mean, it's not too shabby, and I didn't have my buff on. I'm kind of upset that you have to stand still to apply that, but you know, it's not too bad. I would quite like, I don't know, maybe it would be too strong if you could do all of your abilities while moving. Maybe that's me just... Now, one little trick is you can stand here and literally just offload some of your warp. I know it's a bit lame. I think they really need to do it so it does it on damage to enemy rather than on, you know, something else. AoE does so much damage with this. Now, that was without the buff, and it doesn't quite kill them, but with the buff, it's pretty much guaranteed to get an insta-kill on most. Now, I have a feeling there's a warp gate up here, which might be why there are so many goddamn ostriches coming at me. Right, I think we're going to use our first inoculator today, and we're going to move on up. I'm going to move on up. I'll try the pistol out for you though, my friend, because I think it might be a thing, but I have a feeling it won't be, because I'm just trying to think how those things would work together. And my only conclusion is that they kind of can't. Oh, no. Bad timing, bad timing, bad timing. Or at least I killed the guy on the turret, I think. Go away! Bad time for a Pillar of Doom. Oh, and it can go through walls. Oh, jeez. That's fine. We killed it. So that's what happens when you don't really manage your heat. I do need to use the right click a little bit more often. But hey, honestly, I'm not that fussed about spawning warp anomalies because, as I keep saying, as I do think they make it a bit more fun to play this class. Yeah, Force Sword is only in one hand. That does make sense. And Pistol as well, neither of which... I was a little bit upset that you can't dual wield a pistol and use some of the other heat mitigation abilities, but you have to have a staff or sword. So yeah, that's kind of a thing. Well, I think no matter what you have with the Psyker, you have to have a staff or a rod. It's just sort of, it's mandatory. But that's not the end of the world. Yeah, Force Swords give you, well, I guess you can call it a spell. They give you a weapon ability, which is basically a whack 'em with your sword ability. One of them does like a phasing attack, so you sort of teleport to them. But generally speaking, well, yeah, every sword gives you something. That's 100%. Pow pow. The AoE is real. Right, let's make sure we discharge a little bit more. Always remember to discharge your warp, or you'll go blind. And the only downside with this build is once you've activated that flame ability is you can't sit in cover because it kills it. Which is, I mean, I don't know if that's an intentional thing that the developers did, but it's sort of mildly upsetting because when you want to get your hit points back in a tough setting, then, well, you kind of can't. So I like it though because it, you know, it has its compromise and it is good. It is a good spell. Much better than all of the other psychic abilities I can come up with. And it doesn't look like it's killing them that quick, but I mean, it's a Chaos Space Marine. And it's a modest difficulty. Okay, so now I've overheated with my pistol. Have to resort to using the staff, which I probably should have been using a bit of anyway. And I think you could probably alternate left click, left click, right click, which would probably be a better use of skills and spells anyway. Gets rid of suppression rather quick, so I could even put something like stun on the third ability there. Food for thought. Food for thought. Right. Which expertise? I can't even remember, you know. I think I started off life with this class as the Biomancer, so I have plus 20% damage when I am high on heat, which is probably not my favourite. I prefer the one that gives you movement speed on kills. I think that is immensely useful. I really, really like it, but oh god. This is going to be one of those bits. Fortunately, I've got enough AoE to take that down without sort of worrying too much. I mean, yeah. Oh, that's the testicle there. That's the testicle. Orange swirling testicle of doom. If that starts appearing, it's a good idea to discharge some warp to get rid of the swollen testicle. Right, there we go. Let's just kill this thing. Get our flame shield on. The flame shield's also really handy for killing Nurglings. Right, we'll go this way. We'll go this way, and we'll get rid of this trap as well. Yeah, I like the movement speed one, I have to say. I do think it's probably the best. I'm not familiar with the third one, actually. I don't know what that is. I know one of them is movement speed on kill, and I know one of them is extra damage on heat. I'm not familiar with the third. Perhaps someone can fill us in on the third potential starting perk or passive for the Psyker. There we go. Rock and rollin'. Getting some an extra inoculator. Yeah, what is the third one? Does anyone in here know? It looks like we're all a little bit stumped. I can't actually remember. I'd be hopeful that No, I don't think it will come to mind. There is even a post in the forum which does label all of them, put in by Zulus. So if you're not entirely sure what the perks are, you can go to the Neocore forums. It is going to be a video. I'll stick it in the guide section. I'll do a guide and text format. So I'll do like a guide, a quick written guide just to show you what they are, and then I'll do a quick talk through as well to do some suggestions for each of the characters and good starting builds to go for. Because that's the thing with this class, is you can actually talk about, oh, what would you recommend as a starting build? Where are the others? It's all just a case of, well, just equip a gun. And that's a reasonable build. With the Psyker, you can actually have good builds and bad builds. Like this build at the moment is fairly good. It's got a bit of everything. Like it's not got loads of long range damage, but it's got enough. Oh. And the reason I like it is when it comes to killing single targets like that, is you can still do it pretty quick. Hello there, Chapter Master Jones. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Zolos, the man that we were just talking about. He is here. The etiology behind the name Airsick Hydra, well, I'm afraid it's a little bit anticlimactic. The name was allocated to me by Xbox Live. I was Airsick Hydra 298 for a fair while, and I became known by that for such a length of time that it was kind of difficult and inconvenient to change it. It would have caused me more problems, so I decided to roll with it. And when it came to making a YouTube channel, I mean, I was given the advice, maybe you should make a... Oh, that's not good. Maybe you should make a name that sort of people know what you're doing. So I thought about doing Inquisitor Hydra, or Warhammer Hydra, I don't know. And I just stuck with it in the end. I just stuck with it. And that's a brief history of the story of Hydra. Props to Xbox indeed. I mean, it's not the worst name that Xbox have come out with by a long shot. They've definitely done worse. Right, just waiting for my health to go a little bit further down and I get a damn inoculator. There we go, there we go, there we go. Ha, ha, ha. That'll do. That'll do. Chapter Master Jones. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I mean, it's... No one's going to shout out it for being the most original, but it's still fine. I wouldn't say Airsick Hydra is a particularly amazing name. It's just sort of, it's just the one I've been given. Is this any good? Is this any good? No, I'm going to stick with the inoculator I've got. And on that note, quick pop to the inoculator station to give you a pro tip. Got an empty slot here. I want the maximum amount of usages I can. And so I've got extract on here to give me another bit of capacity. We want as much capacity as we can get because I want to get loads of usages because I've got the passive that resets the cooldown. Oh, crafting has finished. That's not particularly what I wanted. It's only got one green slot and two orange, which I don't really want. Okay, never mind. Oh, Swank Studmeister. That is a name and a half, my friend. We got an assassination. Now, this will be a little bit more of a headache. Let's crack on with this. Your Chapter 3 campaign needs you to have 600 power. Is that normal? I think so, my friend. This isn't actually campaign that I'm doing right now. This is sector story. So I'm just going through the story within the sectors at the moment, just trying to level up. And once I run out of this, then I'll go on to doing turret missions. Then when I'm ready for the next sector, I mean, I'm just about to release a video. I just literally need to do the thumbnail for it. My priority system for the game at the moment is do the campaign until it gets to a point where you can't do something. Then do the sector stories. Basically do anything purple as priority. If there is nothing purple at all, then I would consider doing an investigation. And if for whatever reason you're allergic to... Jesus! Okay, this is hurting a bit more than I was expecting. I'm going to have to think a little bit. Yeah, normal missions are basically whenever you've got nothing else. That's kind of like my rule of thumb here. Oh, so much headaches. So much headaches. Okay, this is going to be one of those tougher missions. 162, 174. Excuse me. Dying. Oh my god. I think I just swallowed some saliva down the wrong hole. Need a drink. Oh, excuse me. 1 second while I die over here. Hang in there, Psyker. Oh, the warp has gotten me. Oh. Oh, that was weird. I think I breathed in some saliva. Oh, it happens every now and again, you know. You forget how to swallow, you forget what your basic human functions are, and you just fail. Excuse me, I don't have push to talk, so I'm very sorry about the coughing. Right, let's rock on. I am still alive, though. Whoa, let's dodge. Let's dodge, dive and dodge. Okay, so we're going to overheat our pistol a lot if we just spam that. So, we'll stack all types of vulnerability on him. Don't get hit by that Hydra. Oh, you got stunned on the spot. What? What? Stunned? Oh my word. Right. So this looks like it's actually going to be a bit of a headache to do. But that's good, because I wanted a bit of a headache to see what this build is sort of capable of. Right. Need to offload some heat. AoE attack does a modest amount of damage. Right, there we go. There we go. We'll get some med supplies. Yeah, that's a thing. Once you've got a name, you've kind of got it. Let's summon another anomaly. 2 anomalies! There you go. I walked right into that purple ball that I did not see. Okay, so a little bit more attention's going to need to be paid here. But I don't think this will be not doable. It's an assassination as well, so the enemies have 45% extra health and damage, which is kind of why it's taking so much longer than the last one rather than just a little bit longer. Right, there we go. Well, he doesn't regenerate health, so that's always a good thing. We'll stick this time stop down. And we'll use that to kill him. And then we'll crack on and kill the others. Whoa, get out of the way. Do a little bit of dodging. Is he going to come charging back, I wonder? Yes, there he is. Oh, get interrupted. Get interrupted by my superior skills. What's up, bro? Bye. It's a pretty cool ability, that, I have to say. It's pretty darn cool. It's a real shame at the moment in the game that because of the co-op bug, the fact you have to load in and load out, you don't get all of your runes when you're playing single player. Sorry, when you're playing co-op as an individual, you don't get your runes as a Psyker. What happens if he runs to the edge? Okay, he just sort of bashes his head. Fair enough. Fair enough. So perhaps we can see if we can proceed without aggroing too much. Because we have ascertained this as being a rather painful... Okay. I think we're going to have to fight those guys. And we don't want to take... Oh, more. Excellent. Right, we'll take out the straggler first. So I don't really want grenades being shot at me. And we'll try alternating left click, right mouse. Yeah, that works, that works. Pistol overheats pretty quick though. I mean, I think I'll need to work into heat attacks for the heat tree just so I don't overheat so much with the pistol if I want to do harder missions. Yeah, I see this working, this build. I genuinely do. Alright. Yes, I do like that armor set, the one that doubles your damage done to enemies. I really do like it. The reason I've stopped using it is because whenever you're in multiplayer, it doesn't work. So that's the reason I went for using another armour when I'm playing co-op. Is, well, I've just stuck with this one. But I do like that ability a lot because doing double damage to enemies is incredibly useful. Absolutely incredibly useful. Oh. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. This is not that stressful, actually. It takes a while to kill the Ogrins, but, I mean, when did it not take a while to kill the Ogrins, really? There you go, look at all the death, look at all the death. Okay, and we still got lots of inoculator, things are looking good. So I've tried the various forms of pistol build. I tried the kinetic version, using the kinetic damage bonus. That sort of worked for me. Yeah, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. They both got frozen. Oh, that was really cool. Are there any dot spells? Yes. Well, by dot spell, my fire ability, my number 2, what's it called again? Firestorm, sets them on fire, as well as doing flame damage, which, or heat damage. We'll have a little rant about damage types in a moment, but that is one form of dot. Although I wouldn't say there's many... Oh no, there's hemorrhage as well, which applies a bleed. There's quite a few. Right, here we go. Are they going to run into each other and hurt each other? What's going to happen? Go. Ha! Baited. Right, let's roll. We've killed one of them. There's quite a bit of variety, and there's also a rune that you can apply to literally any of the abilities to make it into a dot. So there's lots of potential for a dot-heavy build. But I'd say, on the whole, the Psyker has the most. The Psyker, the flame pyromancer, sorry, I think has the most. Something I'm curious about is when a new season hits. Obviously, everyone's going to get new weapons, and granted, they might give the Psyker new weapons, but I'm kind of expecting them to give the Psyker more spells with sort of expansions and things like that in future. So I'm really curious to see, because there's a lot of other schools than what's in this at the moment. There's demonology, to give you one example. I think there's something like 12 schools in total. So I'm super, super excited to see what may happen with this class in the future. Now I've got hiccups. Oh my god. I'm just an organic mess today. Basic bodily functions are failing me. Right, there we go. Let's move away slowly. Do a bit of AoE. Lovely ability. Now we can just exit after killing him, and I think I will. Right. Yes. I mean, the thing is with this game in the moment is that dots don't inherently do more damage than ordinary abilities. That's kind of what lets the dot builds down a little bit, is they're not actually that strong. Dots in this don't tick for that much. It's not like World of Warcraft where you put a dot on something as a... Oh my god, I can't even remember a warlock. And you know that dot will do more cumulative damage than a straightforward, I don't know, let's say fireball. This game doesn't seem to work that way, which is... it's odd. It is odd. A lot of the dots are just sort of, well, minor things. However, there's a lot of things that allow you to do increased damage to targets being affected by a dot. So there is room for dots to be more useful. Right, we have finally run out of that stuff. We have enough for one turret mission. Not the most exciting thing in the world. Let's see if we've unlocked the next sector's story. I have a feeling it's probably going to be a little bit out of my reach. But, I mean, heck, we can just have a little peep and have a little see. I'm about halfway through the levelling process at the moment. There we go. 2 here. Oh my god. Right, premium mission, 550. It's going to hurt. It's a Purge, so Purge should be okay. It's not Assassination, so even though it's 550, it should still be doable, I think. Yeah, we'll give it a go. It's Rebel Guard. Right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. We're going to try and push it. Push it real good. And when we level up again, we can go back to our main base, craft a load of gear, and step our power rating up a little bit, which may help to become a little bit formidable. I think in terms of co-op, there is a lot more room for synergy than others. Yep, Soulburn Dot Tree puts minus 20% damage on targets with burn stat, 3-point cost, and that is what I am using, my friend. That is what I'm using, because 20% less damage is nice. If they're dealing 20% less, you're taking 20% less, and that's not something to squibble at. And I've put it on anything that applies a dot when it comes as that. So basically Firestorm reduces their damage by 20%, which is really good. And there's other things as well, where knockdowns reduce enemy damage by 20%. And granted, it's harder to knock an enemy down than to put a dot on it, but there are quite a few opportunities for teams to apply lots of stacking bits and bobs. There is also the option... Oh, come on! Yeah! Halfway through the charge. Get wrecked. There's lots of opportunities for teams to provide debuffs like that. Because there is also the one that it lowers their damage by 3% per debuff on the target. And that's something I may well go to as well, because I can put 10 stacks of vulnerability, which may well reduce their damage by a significant amount. Okay, this is going to be a case of lure them back a little bit. Just make sure I don't summon too many warp anomalies today. Okay, there we go. Lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly. Not going to bother hiding in the cover because I'm just going to melt it anyway. What are you doing with that plasma gun? Get out of it. Oh, explosive thing, explosive thing, explosive! Oh, I'll shoot it with the exploding. There we go. Ugh. Shooting the boxes in front of it. Rip me. Rip me. The other thing that teams can do that the individual can't do quite so well is, say in the range tree, you can be doing extra damage to enemies that are slowed, extra damage to enemies that are XYZ, and that goes up to 25%, which is a pretty darn noticeable amount. So you can synergize stuff like that really easily. Right. Oh! That's one of those things that you don't want. But it's fine, because we've killed all the dudes. We'll just run away. Yeah, I think four-man teams, like, take for example my build. I can put, and my plan is to, when I'm playing with a team, is to... Go away. Trying to talk. Go away. Go away. I can put Fiery Form on effects or targets allies, and I'm not sure yet, but I'm presuming I can cast this on a Crusader. And that's going to give him 50% extra damage to any plasma weapons he's got. I could have a whole team orientated around heat attacks and have all of us applying vulnerabilities, have all of us applying all these various things, and you could really stack up your damage together. I mean, I guess granted you could make the argument that they might include some enemies that have loads of heat resist, but to be honest, I don't currently think that's actually the case. So I think there's a lot of room for teams to create synergistic builds and exciting things. But I've yet to be that... The trouble is you've also got to find 3 other people that want to create a build that orientates around heat. So, you know, that may not be entirely doable. Some people may have a heavy bolter and they might say, look, this is the weapon I want to marry and take home to meet my mum. And you might not be able to talk them out of it by saying how amazing a plasma build would work with yours. Right. Let's have a see. Unfortunately, this is a Purge mission, so... I mean, it's going to take a little while, but hey. It's a story mission. We're going to get a bit closer to leveling up. Pow, pow. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Whoa there, Lois. This is not my Batman glass. Okay, he failed on the door. That's always nice. And you can see that little bit of dot damage there ticking for 71 or so, which isn't terrible. It's not terrible. Definitely need to blow up more containers, get enough skill points to get into the heat tree. So I think that's going to be a real contender for this build in terms of making it as awesome as it could be. Right, pew some people over there. Roast chicken tonight. Got a halogen oven for Christmas that I'm going to give a whirl at. So if anyone has any tips for doing a roast chicken in a halogen oven, feel free to let me know. Okay. Warp management's not been optimal. Are you all going to kill each other? Yes! Crush each other. Now, I tell you what I would quite like is if I summon a demon on a non-chaos map. Now, granted, maybe they're not going to attack other demons, but if I summon one, I'd quite like it. Let's say I'm fighting the Dark Elder, to have a go at them, to just fight the nearest available enemy unit. It would just be a nice touch. I wouldn't want it to be an ally or anything. I just want it to attack whatever it can. I think that would be cool anyway. I think that would be cool. Now, this is a trap, which means when I go in this room, there's going to be loads of enemies behind me. But I would also like these medical supplies. Oh, seeing as I've set them off, I might as well see what's in this chest. There we go. Right, yeah, you're the only heat-focused Crusader in your cabal. That's the trouble, my friend, because you've got the three, at least there's only 3 damage types, and let's have a little chat about this while we're here, and I doubt any of the developers are going to be on listening to me on a Sunday, but they really need to sort out these damage types, because they're calling some fire, they're calling some heat, they're laser, plasma, and they're all just heat damage. Or at least I really hope so, otherwise this is incredibly confusing. But if you're making a build and you've got a laser or a plasma weapon and it says does plasma damage, it doesn't say it does plasma damage, which is a subtype of heat damage. And it makes it really hard to find stats that you should be using because you've just got no idea as a new player. We kind of only know this because I think plasmas used to be labelled as heat. But now they're labelled as plasma. But there's only 3 resistances, so... Right, there we go. But that's one gripe I have, is I kind of feel like they just need to make it easier to understand or give people a little explanation in a debrief early on when they first get their first heat weapon in the tutorial and say, this is a plasma weapon, which is a type of heat, or this is a laser weapon, which is also a type of heat. Or just say, this is a heat weapon which does plasma-based damage. Or this is a heat weapon that does laser-based damage. I think there's many, many ways they could do this to make it give people less of a headache. Right, let's take out those at the back first. This is looking a little bit painful now. Come on, this is getting silly now, guys. This is getting silly. Stop firing those rockets at me, please. Let's have a little bit of a... Oh, exploding things. That's a good sign that you should probably be discharging some warp energy. Right, turn my shield back on. There we go. Oh, so much stuff going on. And we're finally good. There we go. That was a headache. Yeah, when there's non-Nurgle demons, yeah, it would make sense if we're summoning Khorne demons by accident, etc. And they have said they're going to introduce all of the Chaos factions eventually, but I'm looking forward to Dark Elder just to fight something a bit different. Oh, there we go. Let's discharge a little bit of heat and take a buttload of damage. Unfortunately, even with the Psyker, we're still using this same old strategy of go in, attack them, walk back, wait till they're all clumped, do an AoE. I'd like to see Neocore do something with the AI to say, okay, we've just been triggered, but we're not going to chase you. I think that would be nice. Maybe it would take away too much of your tactical advantage, but I mean, that's all I've got to do in every single room, and it will clear the trash. So it kind of takes a lot of the thought process out of the actual combat. It works a little bit better when you're in multiplayer. Right, there we go. Ouch! Rudeness. Strafe. Bye. I think his wind-up time's big enough. Okay, can't shoot through that, that's fine. Let's see how many melee hits I can take. Ugh. Kind of painful. Tyrannid enemies, yeah. I mean, I'm all up for fighting bugs, really. I just want all of the enemies in this. I think Tyrannids would make sense to have eventually, but I would say Orcs first. And if you do see Tyrannids, it needs to be a case of... it will be a Gene Stealer cult. And it needs to be... well, it will be done in a way that, oh, you're going down to a planet, you have no idea what's there at all. There's Gene Stealers, and then you have a small campaign of you trying to escape them or something like that. Because many players will point out that the moment you spot a Gene Stealer, as an Inquisitor, all you're going to do is say, bomb it. You are not going to be going in there wiping the floor with Gene Stealers. And that is not your cup of tea. You'll call in the Death Watch, you'll call in Exterminatus, something like that. But I can say it's a little bit of a stretch of the imagination to think of you rocking through a hive nest. But Gene Stealer Cult would be pretty darn cool, just in terms of miniatures and models and stuff like that. Now, I do also appreciate they're probably some of the hardest to animate, because you look at a basic humanoid shape and you can mould that into most of the 40k units. I guess they've got Chaos Spawn already, so they have some beast types. But I think doing humanoids will be infinitely easier for the developers to animate. And, I mean, being nice to them, the animations in the game aren't... okay, they don't have like a Blizzard-size animation team, so doing an entire army roster of Tyrannid units is probably going to be 5 times harder than doing an entire army roster of Orcs, for example, that basically could be modelled partly on the Ogryn or something like that. They could overlap some stuff they've already done, I guess. But then again, I'm not an animator, so I don't know entirely how these things work, but my expectation is I would like Tyrannids, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think there'll just be other stuff that would be far easier to do. Like, I mean, once you've got the Dark Elder, putting the Elder in's really not too much of a stretch to the imagination, even though that's going to be kind of anticlimactic. I don't know, what other factions will you guys think of seeing next? I mean, Necrons, of course, are always going to be a potential thing. That can always happen. Be like your typical zombie-type enemies. What else? What else? I can't even think of the actual enemy factions, you know, in 40k anymore. Tau? Yeah, Tau would be interesting. I mean, it would be interesting to see how they do Tau. I think Tau would be probably very doable, because again, it's just humanoids, and the battle suits could probably be modelled after Walker's Dreadnoughts or something like that. Probably wouldn't be too hard. I think Orcs would probably be fairly high up on my list of priorities, though, because they're just so iconic to the IP. Orcs, Elder, Tau, Necron. I think those would be probably the first 4 we could expect. That's my guess anyway, you know? Yeah, I mean, they could certainly throw in some allied faction units, you know, as people have said, that you could have a special mission or story mission. If they, let's say they introduce some Khorne enemies, maybe they could give you a bunch of Grey Knights just for one mission that have been sent over by the Death Watch for a certain story or something like that, you know? They could do that, but that's going to be just adding more units to the game. Oh, let's adjust myself on the chair. Yeah, Sisters of Battle could make appearances too, and all of the other stuff that you would typically see. Aha! Uff, go away. We need to discharge a little bit of heat. And smush enemies. Right. Stop that. Oh, dodging minigame. Dodging minigame. Right. I'm fairly happy with this build, you know. I'm fairly happy with it. Need to keep remembering to actually keep my shield up. But if I fire enough shots, I should be, after I fired 10, doing considerably more damage. Ah, the only downside is I do overheat way before then. Pow! I quite like the sounds this makes as well. Okay, and this should be the very last room. Oh, stand off of that. Oh, jeez. Okay. One left, one left. One left. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 4 demonic factions is fairly... Each one of those can be fairly unique. Like Plague Bearers, you can mould into a Bloodletter fairly easily, and add Chaos Hounds and a few other things like that. And I can't even remember the 40k units, to be honest. I only remember the fantasy corn units. But there's probably something that can be done there. I think Eldar have a massive array of units that are all potentials. Neural Implant, what have we got here? Not amazing, but it'll do. So I have gone up a level, but you know what? That wasn't too bad. I think we can do another one. I think we can get away with doing another one at this level. Now, what level is this going to... That's 650. So that is going to be painful. I think we're going to have to do these first until this reaches 600, then do our turret missions, and then do the story missions for this area. That's what I'm thinking right now. But it looks like I'm hitting a little bit of a wall where I've got to a point where the content is fairly rough, and a few whatchamacallits would be useful. A few turret missions would help bump me up a little bit to the point where these missions are no longer going to be too hard. So, I mean, having said my priority list earlier, I mean, I do grant if the story is getting too difficult, then, of course, you can do a few turret missions to make things a little bit more forgiving. But that being said, like, this is, what, 80 above my rating, and I'm still killing stuff in one hit, so it's not too bad. The AoE as well is such a powerful ability. Steady on, steady on, steady on. The regen is a little bit of a pain, gonna be honest. Right, but we've got loads of AoE damage. Absolutely loads. And Nurglings really aren't going to be a problem. Right. That Nurgling there? What are you doing? Hiding behind a barrel. That's not very Nurgle orientated. I think Warhammer Fantasy, in a way, would have been better suited to an ARPG, because I think the medieval side of things is just easier or simpler to make into a game. However, I do kind of get that 40k is a bigger thing right now than Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar is, in my eyes anyway, still got a little air of controversialness to it. So although a fantasy ARPG would be good, they've kind of already killed fantasy. So it should probably be an Age of Sigmar one. I don't know. Yeah, we got some Russian messages going on, my friend. That reminds me, we should appoint some moderators at some point. We should appoint some moderators indeed. Got enough regulars to promote some, I think. So be on your best behaviour, and one day you may become a moderator with extra responsibilities. And I'd like to say rewards, but I couldn't think of what to reward you with. My personal thank you. Priority for co-op missions. How about that? Pow. Now, these guys are definitely armoured, just looking at the difference between my normal and other ability here. Definitely the case that although these guys shouldn't be, 1-3, yeah. 1-1 damage there versus 1... Oh, hang on. No, that was a crit. I don't know anymore. I thought they were armoured. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just getting confused. That's another one of these things. Like it is actually kind of hard to tell with some. Like some of the Ogryns, are they armoured? Because they're not visually armoured, but they're the same size as many of the armoured units. Do the Chaos Demons, do some of them count as armoured with like thick grisly hides? You just don't know. They need their own, what do you call it? They need their own, like, when you hover over them, that it needs to have a different animation, or it needs to do something different that makes you realise, ah, this is an armoured unit, I should be using an anti-armour ability. God, Jesus! Like, for example, if you're shooting a Space Marine, you should hear a ding! You know, a little metallic sound. Yeah, I think they could probably introduce some warp anomalies, as you say, that are impacted by... aha! I see your plan, Neocore. Whoa! Did anyone see what that was? I literally have absolutely no idea what just blew me up then. And salute to you, Loken. Hi, Loken. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have absolutely no idea what blew me up. Maybe I just overheated. Right. Blow up some of these dudes. I think they could really do with changing that ability. Some of the streamed abilities sort of come out your wrist at a 90-degree angle in this, and yeah, it's not the prettiest thing to see. Some visual bugs really are sort of painful to look at. Right. Come on, die, you peckers. Regen is such a pain in the butt. Actually a pain in the butt. Are you done shooting me yet? Go away. Oh, it's endless. The life of an Inquisitor. It's just mob after mob. I guess it is called an action ARPG. Right. Now we're going to wait for my shield to go, then we're going to go into cover and get some health back. If I go into... Oh, we'll just go into cover and kill it a bit. It's fine. Oh. Yeah, the cover survived. Good job. Loot dropping inside the mission rather than at the end of the mission. Well, the thing is, I see their logic of why they don't want players changing equipment inside a mission, and specifically on co-op, because the missions are... There's no sort of like return to base and jump start back into a mission with your friend and such like that. It's sort of one of those things where you do your stuff before going on a mission. And because it's mission based, I do agree that not changing equipment in a mission is probably a good thing. Because, I mean, it does annoy me a little bit when you're playing an ARPG and someone picks up a gun and then for the next 10 minutes they're there changing all of their skills and all of their abilities, and you know, and that's just frustrating when you just want to crack on with the mission and you're like, well, we're going to town in a minute anyway, can you not just wait for a minute? And we've all got friends that do that. We've all got friends that do that, and most of us have probably done it at some point as well. But I kind of think that making drops happen within mission would then just be a case of making people want to be able to change the equipment during a mission. There's no point having drops and not being able to equip it. So that's kind of a thing, and I think that's why I'm happy for them to keep it as it is. Because if it would be a sort of, for me, a negative chain of events. It would start off with giving people gear within mission, then it would result in people wanting to be able to equip it within a mission, and then it would end up with what should be a 5-minute co-op experience turning into a 10-minute co-op experience because people want to dip in and out, and yeah, I don't know. I think keeping it as a mission-based is okay for me, but I do grant that it does have a negative impact on some of the excitement during the mission. I completely accept that, because normally when you're in an ARPG and you see something drop awesome from a boss or from an elite unit, you think, fantastic, let's check out if it's any good. Or at least you do in the early game. if you've been playing an ARPG for a while, you would normally go out, farm loads of stuff, go back to base. And this is kind of like why Diablo 3 has this thing where you have to click on each legendary individually in order to unload them or learn them. I don't know what the to identify them, sorry. So what they kind of do is they say, okay, you can do that, but if you go back to town, you can do 10 of them at once, or you can do an entire bag full. So even Diablo doesn't really want you doing it too much in a mission, but it does give you the option. So I don't know. I'm just waffling now. We are definitely very hot in terms of warp. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Come on, it's nearly dead. There we go. Let's get out. Let's get out. But that is just my thoughts on it, you know? Like, there will be people that would like it the other way. It's maybe not got a right or wrong answer. It is what it is. 80 per mission. It's going to take a while to level up like this. We're getting 8 fate per mission too. Not a huge amount of relics and other things. But hey, we're getting a bit. Oh, we unlocked some stuff. And we got a skill point as well. What can we put that in? Hit points. We're still nowhere near doing that. Ordnance Seeker we need for that. And I cannot remember for the life of me what it is. Burn effects last 1 second longer and block health regeneration. That, I think, is actually not too bad. I had no idea that was there. This is now the best build in the world. I think next mission, I'm probably going to... next Inquisitor rank, I'm going to... Oh, Assassination again. Crappers. I'll go back to town, I'll go through my gear and do another gear revamp. As I'm going to say in my video coming out today, make sure you keep your gear up to date, because even though this is minus 23 plus 37, if I went to town now, upgraded my gear, that would probably be minus 15 and plus 25 if I took 10 minutes now to just go through my gear. I don't want to do it that often because I don't really feel like I have to, but, you know, hey-ho. 3 AM rep. That is early. I forget if China's in the past or future. You guys are ahead of us, aren't you? Because you're with the Australians. So have a nice Monday, my friend. Have a nice Monday. Pow. Boggles the mind, really, to realise people the other side of the planet are just in the polar opposite time to you. When you're getting out of bed and going to work, someone else out there is just coming home from work, having had a long day. At least that boggles my mind anyway. But maybe I'm just an islander who hasn't had much world experience. Done a little bit of travelling, but never anywhere too far. Furthest I've flown is probably 5-6 hours. So all these nice places still on the to-do list. Just need a few lottery tickets to be able to go see them all. Hungary's on the to-do list though, that's where Neocore are from. And I'd very much like to go check out the studio and such. Ah, my pistol is overheating. Right, there we go. Yeah, I'd really like to check out Budapest. I hear good things. I hear good things. Not even from Neocore. I have a lot of friends that have been there, and they all say it's a nice place. I've enjoyed Bruges. That's probably one of my favourite European cities thus far. "30 minutes flying to Scotland." So you didn't even need a passport for that, I'm guessing. Oh, I'm presuming you flew from the UK, because I guess you can fly to Scotland in 30 minutes from Germany. Oh. Oh. Have at thee. You can tell that the extra 45% hit points are there, can't you? Ugh. Ah. Might also help if I had the frickin' flame shield active, giving me 50% more damage. Buffs, buffs, buffs. Always remember your buffs, Hydra. Right. Health's going up slowly. We'll just give that a second. And we'll do a power one of those and power one of those. Probably could have waited for them to move a little bit more. We're going to need an inoculator. I'll tell you, one of the other abilities I really do like in this game is spontaneous combustion, where you target an enemy and if you kill them in one hit, they explode and deal AoE damage. I think that's a really nice ability, and I like the aesthetics of it. The cooldown's 3 seconds, so it's not too long, not too short. Right, so these guys are definitely armoured. You can tell the difference there, 160 versus... it was doing about double the damage with my armour bypass attack, so... Right, there we go. There we go, there we go. We're getting there. Let's see what vehicles we have to kill this time. Right. I tried to do an AoE ability and that did not work very well for me. I'm going to have to go in there, lure them back, and then do the old sort of boring routine. Hey-ho. That's actually one of those moments where like an invulnerability shield can come in some handiness. Can come in handy, rather. Yep, that's very nice, my friend. That is very nice. Right, I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're just going to have to hit and run a few times. Yep. Which is fine. We'll unload a little bit of heat while there's not too many of them. Right, what do we got here? Have I killed the guy in the turret? Yes, I have. Off with the head. Fair enough. Guessing he doesn't like me. Right. That is an angry Psyker over there. I was wondering why my health went down so much. That is a very angry Psyker. Right. I'm actually going to have to walk away a little bit and just sort of get to a point where I can go and freeze him. There we go. Burst him down. Those guys hurt a little bit. And I'm a Psyker. I'm supposed to have some warp resist. Get out of it. Stop hitting me. Right, that's one of them dead. So now at least the rest will have 15% less health. So, always good. I do like Scotland. Been there a few times as well. Nice place. Nice place. And contrary to common belief, I had nothing but exceptional food while I was there. And I didn't eat sort of in-done fancy places. I just sort of ate pubs, cafes, stuff like that. All nicely homely cooked stuff. I think that's the reason. It was a nice place to go. Do we have any Scottish in the chat? Give them a little shout out. I mean, they do like deep frying stuff. I've lived with a Scotsman and my stepdad is Scottish, so I'm more than familiar with their tendency to want to eat anything battered. Okay, we're not going to stop that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to call it a day and play it safe. Right, there we go. Gun's not quite overheated. Whew. There we go. Some more skill points would really be nice, because there is some stuff in the skill point in the heat tree which would be useful. Would be very, very useful for this build. Right. That thing has quite a healthy range. Right, come here there. Come here. He is a champion, eh? He is a champion. Okay. Let's see how much damage we can do. Oh. Oh. We got him. So he does take quite a bit of a pounding. We'll get that. It'd be quite nice as well when you equipped, when you got these equipment crates with a Psyker, if you actually got something that you could use. Right, let's take out that guy in the turret first, because I've had enough of him already. Turret's really hurting this. Oh, everyone's talking to me at once here. One at a time, please. One at a time. Right. So what's everyone else's favourite build for the Psyker? Oh, wrong ability. Is everyone generally Pyro? Is that the general thought? I mean, my thoughts are that Pyro probably needs a little bit of a nerf and the others need a little bit of a buff. Well, no, I think Biomancy just needs a little bit of a buff, but maybe not. Maybe not. I just haven't found something that really makes it work. Within the AoE tree, there is an ability that makes all AoE psychic abilities do 50% more warp damage, which is good. And that's a passive. That is very nice. But there's not that many great AoE damage warp abilities. And the warp lightning I don't think is AoE. It's just a piercing attack. So it's like using a... I don't know. It's granted it's a more AoE-like animation, but I think it's no different to like a las pistol doing the streaming ability. A channeled ability, rather. Although it's not channeled, but it is piercing. I need to find out. If that is AoE, the warp lightning, then there is some potential there. Right, good job. Good job, me. Ugh. Hard going, though. Getting a reasonable amount of XP. Not absolutely loads, but... And then the next one will level up. Ugh. Molten Beam with vulnerability and armor piercing. Is Molten Beam the one on a melter? Molten Beam. I know the one you mean. That's a really good idea to do it with vulnerability, because I'm presuming each tick gives it an extra point of vulnerability. I'll have to give that a try, because that actually makes complete sense. I really like that. That sounds good. Yeah. That does sound... I'm not a massive fan of the range on it. That's one of the only downers that I've got about it is it's... How do I put this? You have to walk up right close to the enemy to be able to do that ability. And granted, you might kill them incredibly fast, but I have a little bit of trouble with harder difficulties getting close enough to be able to use that ability. But maybe if you've got a Crusader there to sponge some abilities, then... Oh, it's one of these missions. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Thunderhammer. I would like a Thunderhammer. Maybe not on my Psyker, but the Thunderhammer's cool. I do think it's a good bit of fun, that weapon. Right, let's see if we can... Whoa. Okay, let's go up this way for now. Is that a... Okay, we might as well go here. No. Oh, he's not doing much damage. It's fine. Pop. There you go. Now, is there a chest up there? Nope, no chests. So, not worth. Right. Scratch off that point on the map. We're going to have to go literally everywhere else. This is a horrible layout. I mean, I don't really hate the map itself, but it is definitely not my favourite. It's definitely my least favourite, that no doubt about it. It's just sort of... I can't put my finger on it, but it's not only the narrow corridors, but it's just, I think, the big green mass on the outside that just doesn't really do it for me. Right. There we go. Murder. All of the murder. Right, we really need to find one of these chests. We've not even seen one of them yet. So we get to see now how quickly I can melt down these plague ridden. I think that's a really good test of a build, because some builds I've used just haven't been capable of killing these enemy units that you spawn. So we'll turn this on. Right, there we go. Pow, 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 pow. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. It could be better, but the damage is fairly good. Right. Got some dudes to save here. Can we save them? That's the question. Looks like they haven't loaded properly. That's a shame. Aha! Quick men, charge! No, they've got a Foxcaster. It's going to crush all of my allies. No, no, no. Stun him. Go away. I'm trying to save the Imperial Guard. They're our last hope. Yes! We've saved them. We've got some Imperial Guard still alive. I am an exceptionally good Inquisitor today. And it's not every day of the week that you get to walk out of a battle with a few Imperial Guards still alive. Right, are you guys going to follow me? Nope, never mind. What a bunch of dicks. I guess they're staying there to guard the outpost. The Emperor protects, indeed, Timmy. Indeed. Sometimes Hydra protects. Right. March on. I'm guessing there'll be one of them up here, and then another one or two there and there. So there will be spares, so I might not have to go to every single part of this goddamn map. I think the change of armour to the one that gives me bonus damage would be handy for this build, to say the very least. Ugh. Yeah, Bullgrins do take quite a while, don't they? Oh, round the corner. Oh, we're good, we're good, we're good. I definitely need more skill points to make me be able to spam the pistol a little bit more. Just the lack of heat is a little bit of an issue. So what you can do is you can do quicker cooldown and you can do less heat reproduced, both of which will make... I heard it, didn't see it. Just looked like another bit of fire. Oh, here we go. Right. Right, there we go. We're good, we're good. We got this. Huh. I think we're actually not going to kill him. Yeah, we're actually not going to kill him, are we? Oh, oh. Oh, we got it with so freaking clutch. So clutch. Much wow. Jesus, that was close. Ugh. Yeah, I think it's fair to say most of the time Hydra does not protect. Yeah, it's not really what... I mean, anything called Hydra generally does the opposite of that. Man, that was close. I mean, there you could see... Yeah, my damage was a little bit lackluster. Right. Come on. Come at me. How to take forever to kill stuff, keep splitting your damage between them. Although, I should be stopping their regen now. Which is really cool. I had no idea burning did that. Whoa, up we go. So that's a new thing to add to this build because... pay attention, Hydra. Pay freaking attention. Reducing enemy healing in this game is really big. Previously, it was only actually the Needler that was able to do this. And I'm just going to say this now, that it was a little boy named Hydra that about 2 months ago said, by the way, developers, only the Needler reduces healing, and yet within the frickin' 40k rulebook, flames and burning prevent regeneration. So how about... And, you know, the response was, really? Oh, that's cool. Granted, it wasn't from an actual developer, it's one of their community guys, but, yeah. I'm not going to take credit for it, but something had to happen to make someone else get some healing reduction. It was a little bit too needle rifle centric, especially for the harder missions. I mean, it was sort of have a needle rifle or don't bother, because you were going to have a bad time. Kind of digging the build. kind of digging the build. I mean, one of the downsides is that it doesn't have absolutely reliable long-range single target. Most of the long range is actually AoE. I mean, I can cast this ability lots. Bearing in mind this is warp ability. This is a warp ability and is not therefore doing 50% bonus damage. That's something to perhaps factor in. What is up, Chris? How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream, and welcome anyone else that's new here, by the way. Hopefully you know my name's Hydra, and I like to do all things related to Inquisitor Martyr, but I also do dip into the other 40k games. Would be doing some Deathwing content if they ever decided to release their patch, or even just communicate with the general public about what the hell is happening with that game. What else have we got coming out in the future? Vermintide 2, I will definitely be doing some playthroughs of that, just because it is fun, it's good to watch, I think, as well. Especially on some of the harder difficulties. I think that'll be a good one to keep an eye out for. Total War I was really getting into, but I had some pretty big issues with recording it. And it's something that I tried to fix, and no help, basically. You are bored, Chris. Well then, you are in the right place. You are in the right place to ask all things Martyr related. If you've got any questions, stuff you want to know about future content, well, anything you need to know, let me know. Vargas, welcome my friend. Nice to see you again. Right, we've got one more of these damn boxes to get. Then we're going to go back to base. We're going to revamp my build. Yeah, I think Vermintide 2 is a fairly safe one to pre-order. I mean, I'm all for the whole sort of don't pre-order games in sort of 2018 because it keeps making developers do lazy things, but I feel... Now, I know that Vermintide had its problems and it wasn't perfect, and the loot, when it first came out, it wasn't great, but I feel like with all the refinement they did, Vermintide 2 can only just be a good game when it comes out. I don't really think they're going to mess anything up. Unless the skills are really horrible or something and people just don't like the class system, but it's basically Vermintide 1 plus some additional stuff, and I don't see anything they've added as being potentially harmful to the game. So I'm nothing but optimistic for it, really. Right, there we go. Pow. Nick Cook. You know what? I think my boss is actually... Never mind. You've got the same name as someone I know. I believe... No, it's not Nick Cook. It's Nick someone else. I believe it is not a rumour. However, I can't tell you anything else. Because I don't know what's confirmed and what's not confirmed. But, I have heard others talking of said telekinesis tree as well. Although I don't know how, if anyone does have access to it, how they do, I'm not entirely sure. But there is indeed mystery. I mean, my presumption is, and let's be honest, there are lots of potential trees for this person. There's demonology, there's loads. There's some mechanical related sort of machine abusing ones as well, I think. I believe when it comes to each season, everyone else is going to get new weapons and the Psyker's going to get a new school of abilities. That's my my expectation. However, I could be wrong. This is just a guess right now. It is something I will hopefully be confirming in my interview that I'll be releasing Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. I'm doing another developer interview, and asking about the future of the Psyker is definitely something I'd like to know about. There's also some other topics. I believe that to be the case, Nick. That's why I believe that they put it in and took it out, realising that it was something due to be released later on. Either that, or it was one that they had made but weren't happy with, so they're put in at a later date, or they just thought it wasn't very good and they'll take it out. I'm not entirely sure. Right. I'm fairly sure that's the case, Vargas, but I'm not entirely sure why they're holding it back for one and not the other. I mean, maybe they want to stimulate more console sales. Maybe this is a financial decision from them that they're thinking, okay, if we actually patch it on PC, then less people will buy it on the console and more people will get like a discounted version on PC because it's been on Steam sale so many times you can pick it up pretty cheap. Maybe that's what's going on. They're not wanting to hurt the console sales. That's why they want to release them together. Wow, Apostle, get wrecked, bro. Get wrecked. Get wrecked by the mods. How is it going, Apostle? How you doing, my friend? Would you like to jump in with me, Apro? Apro is one of my Cabal members. Also a Patreon, so he gets a little bit of extra love. Right then, my friend, as soon as I'm done with this, I will get you in, and we'll get you in the chat too, and we will get rocking together. Can tanks go up ramps? That's the question. Whoa. Dodge, dip, dodge the balls. Ha, ha, ha. So much pain. Yeah, there's tanks, my friend. There's tanks. There's also some very big units as well. There's some bosses as well. I've only fought one of them so far. I would like to fight more, but I have a feeling because all of the story is placeholder, they're not in it yet. But I would like to definitely see more bosses. Get out of it, you scrotum. Oh, come on, I just want to go a little bit further and get that damn box. Daka, 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 back at you. Big douche. Right. It's a fighty one. Oh. Right, we got this. Okay. Right. Oh, Jesus. I don't think we do actually have this. Oh, God, so close. Oh, God. Oh, that's way too stressful. Oh. That's enough to give you a headache. So we're going to level up now to 22. Ugh, that's not a lot of experience. 22. Two little ducks, 22. Has anyone played bingo here? Anyone familiar with the bingo calls of 40k? I used to play snooker up the local club 2 or 3 nights a week, and quite often there was the bingo going on in the background, so I got to listen to bingo calls all night long and repeatedly get told to shut the fuck up, we're trying to play bingo. It's fucking hilarious. You just could not talk without being shouted at. Hello, my fellow Russian compadre. I'm afraid I don't have the faintest idea on how to pronounce your name. But there you go. Looks cool, though. Timonen? I'm going to have a guess with Timonen. Let me know how I should be pronouncing it. Right, we're going to get a pro in here. And let me just see what we got. Melter gun? Do we have a melter pistol? That's what I'd really like. Okay, we'll buy... Technically, I should probably buy all of these, but I'm trying to save some money as well. Now, let's rock on here. Let's just alt-tab and get a pro in quick. We're going to go to, on our Cabal chat, we're going to go to the private AFK stream. Come on, a pro, jump on in. I'll get you in a... Just need to wait for him. There we go. What's up, buddy? Is he going to speak?
I got to mute your stream. Hold on.
It's all good. Right, just need to turn my video for my audio for the game down a little bit. That should be good. Right, time to do a little bit of crafting. So I've gone up about 3 levels now. So I've definitely got some crafting to do. 49 is way higher. Mine are currently about 40. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a few of these just to try and get the plus heat damage. Because heat damage is my jam. Right. Have you got any idea if co-op is properly working, a pro?
I think we still have to do the crash bit.
Yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Right, and that is also slightly better than what I've got at the moment. So let's... Won't be too long, guys. Just need to do the build stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to have all sorts of headaches. How you doing there, Steve? Stefan? Nice to see you. Not nice to see you. Not going to use a blueprint. No, I'm not going to use a glitch to get infinite money. I'm not even sure what it is, but I've done enough glitching in this game to get infinite stuff. I don't need more. I'm happy playing this through at the intended pace. I'm sure that there are some people that have used the XP bug as well when you load in a mission and load straight out and you get the full XP. It was doing that for some people, but you know what? I want to actually be able to comment on how quick the leveling experience is this time round. Last time, I will admit, I did bug, and I did use that to level up very quick. Right. How much fate do you have at the moment, a pro?
300.
Ah, could do a couple of talent missions.
So.
I've got a bit. I've got 159, but I think I've also got a fair few purples I could be swapping over. Right, let's just sort out my items quick. Anything with heat damage. Won't take too long, guys, don't you worry.
As far as turrets go, if you want Psyker stuff, go for melee.
Yes, melee's where it's at. Right, we'll just do this to level up. There we go. Definitely need a better Inferno pistol. 71. Yes, please. That's quite a bit better than mine. And what bonuses do we have on this? Damage against bleeding. Ugh. Damage for melter beam. Also, ugh. Alright, that'll do. That'll do. Let's sell some stuff and get rocking. Right, sell all of this garbage. I think there was an armour there that I meant to equip, but never mind. Let's just have a quick check. 68, that's the one. 71, also good. Quick check on which one's better. And... so would you like one-handed or two-handed weapons there, a pro?
Whichever. I'm fine with either.
Groovy.
I noticed you're using a rod, so I'm pretty sure you're going to want one.
Yeah, one hand would suit me pretty well. I mean, I can take you on this premium mission with me, but at least I think I can. It's a placeholder story. Not entirely sure. Let's go social. Let's get you in. Tickety-boo.
Dang, man. 20.
When do you get your new patch with new mechanics, Doom? The new patch was here a few days ago, my friend. Thus us playing the Psyker at the moment. It came out a little while ago. Last week. And it has plenty of new bits. Right. Let's start with the turret then. Are you in the party at the moment, Groovy? Turret, so we're going to go with two-handed, heavy, pistol, signum. Where's a one-hander? One-handed melee.
Is it going to mess up your stream if you're going to have to force crash your game?
No, it's fine. It just goes black screen for a second. It's not really... not too much of a problem. Right, we're going to have Don't Die on here, okay?
Got it.
That's just going to give us the maximum amount of experience. Right, there we go. Looking good. Right. And now, don't worry in a second, guys, the screen will go black because one of the current bugs with the game when you're loading into a mission is that the host does have to sort of restart. Which is not a huge issue, it just adds another sort of 15 seconds onto the loading time. It does mean, though, that we don't actually get our psychic runes. It doesn't load them properly in co-op, which is a real bug. Yeah, the masteries, it sucks because I've got some cool ones.
My whole build is about making buffs and using symbiosis to hand them out to allies, and I can't do it.
Yeah. It's a shame. Right, so that's the bug there, guys. That's why it's not currently loading anymore. So we'll now load up Martyr again. The screen will be coming back in just a second. And there we go. And we're loading. So, yeah, I mean, likewise with my abilities, it gives. I've gone for like reduced cooldowns, reduced cost, increased damage, just basically everything you need to be better. I don't have any stuff that really synergizes. I could give the flame shield to allies. That's one I'll probably do, but I haven't.
Oh, I have the map glitch again. This is fun.
Oh yeah, which glitch do you have?
The one where I teleport around.
Oh, fun. I can't actually see you on here, so... Are you...
Yeah, I'm way north of you, actually.
Oh. Looks like you may need to reload as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'm going to crack on and just clear a few of the basic trash mobs.
Okay. The more you kill, the more XP we get.
Oh god. I'm starting to wonder if that was a great thing to do. Oh god, oh god. When you load in, just be prepared for a little bit of a headache. Oh, I think we're good, actually.
Did you go overheat?
No, I just... Wow, that was a... Whew. You didn't get the stuff... yes. It's true that there are a few things that were due to be in Doom that we don't have at the moment. And yes, Alebeard, all you have to do on skill points is left-click them, then right-click them, but you have to do it in from sort of the inside to the outside, so you have to work your way backwards with the tree, but you can reset all of your skill points in this game at any time without cost. And Doom, I'm going to try and get the developers within the interview, which I'll be publishing Wednesday, to outline when we can expect some of the content that should have already been here, such as the... what are we missing? The retinue system, such as the... Oh, there's a few other things. The season itself. It's not actually clear if the season's actually started yet, so there will be information coming soon, and I will get the developers... I think they need to do one final version of their roadmap, to be fair, because there are a few things that we were due to have now that we've not. We've got the majority of it, but there are a few things that we don't have. And it would be nice for all the players to know if the rest of the milestones... We're told that the release date should be unchanged, but I think some players could do some extra reassurance for that, because, I mean, even I am slightly sceptical on how they're going to get this done by the first quarter, unless some of the content is released in the second season, which will be sort of like... I don't know, a month after the game's release or something like that. Maybe that's how they'll do some stuff. I don't know. I'm only guessing. So what weapons are you rocking, bro?
2 force staffs.
Groovy. I can't remember. What abilities does that have?
Okay, so the one has the explodey fire bit.
Yep.
And the other one has the single shot armor piercing.
Ah, okay. Yep. I like that. I like that lots. I've tried a lot of them, but... Are you here as well? Yes, you're invisible. That's fine.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, okay. It's fine. I need to relog to fix that, but we'll just pretend I can see you. Say, putting the guys through another. Oh, no problem, Doom. I do this for yeah. As I say, for you guys, also for the developers too, like sometimes they need to be reminded that players don't know certain things, and just because I spam them so much, I can be quite a pest, which I think helps remind them sometimes that they need to communicate something. Although that being said, it didn't really have any impact on November, December. But in the developers' defence, the reason for the confusion, and no, it's not to say that there is really a defence, but they did think that the patch was nearly ready, and that's why they said, we think it's nearly ready. It's not like they were just sort of intentionally lying.
Trap.
Whew. Well spotted, that man. Well spotted, that man. Yeah, it looked like one hand wasn't talking to the other hand in terms of their sort of in-house communication. Some of them genuinely thought that the patch would probably be released in a week or two, and then it sort of turns out actually they need another month. That's probably one of those situations where you have a team meeting and you're like, right, how's everything going? We're nearly ready. Ah, shit, this asset is just completely fucked until we get XYZ done, which will take us another month. That's my guess anyway. But yeah, I think it needs to be the case probably that they don't give any information until they've had those... until they know exactly where they stand. Just stick to the ambiguous word of soon. It's the trouble of trying to communicate clearly and tell people lots of info is every now and again... The more info you give, the more likely the info is to be wrong. And And I think that's just sort of what happened to us in October, November. But it was quite a long delay, we'll admit that. But hey, Psyker's pretty cool though. I have to say, Psyker is pretty cool. What's your sort of review of the Psyker, Pro?
Give me a second to think on it. Find the right words for it.
Come up with a few words. I mean, if it not to put words in your mouth, but my review would be that it's good, it's interesting. It needs a few more abilities to have lots of viable builds, because although there's plenty of abilities, I think there's probably only a small handful of builds that are really going to be able to do content. But it is a lot of the builds kind of like funnel you into being like, this is how you should play. But there is
as far as more abilities go, they had a whole nother tree in it and 0.7 and that they pulled out immediately in a hot fix. So
do you think that's due to a bug
coming?
Yeah.
No, I would say because it looked like there was missing assets for it. So I would just say that it was just incomplete. Yeah. So they're going to put it back in later when they finally create the assets for it.
That was my impression. Either that or they're planning on releasing it with the season content when they add like more weapons for the other classes. Because there are like, I think there's 12 schools in total for 40k Psyker. So I can't remember all of them, but there's like demonology as well for one.
Yeah, there is.
So my guess is, I mean, adding new weapons to the Psyker every season's not going to be that interesting, but adding new psychic abilities would be really interesting for a player. So my expectations, when the other classes get new weapons each season, that the Psyker's going to get more psychic abilities. That's
I would
my
like to
honest
see more
hope.
weapons too for them.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll keep some of the schools for like a major expansion, because it is quite a big shape up putting another school entirely, whereas changing and adding a few weapons is probably a little bit easier than sort of coming up with new animations. I don't know. I'll basically ask them that before Wednesday so I can get that information out, because I'm sure everyone would like to know.
I mean, you could be a demonologist right now, just overheat.
Yep. That's the plan.
Let's do it. And cry when you die.
I'm quite happy with Pyro at the moment. I mean, in terms of comparing them thus far, I think Pyro has hands down massive advantage.
Because it starts with the Pyro is good for the early game. I agree. I think for the long run though, the Aether Walker is best because of that perk that it starts with.
Yes. Oh yes. I'm talking in terms of the skill trees rather than the perks. But that perk is very, very good, and it's, I think, much better than the Pyro perk overall.
Because you can unlock all the skill trees and all the spells eventually, but you can't unlock this perk.
Yes.
And this perk is just way too good to pass up.
Absolutely.
It's so the Pyromancer perk is that they get plus 20% damage when they're at max heat, which is okay.
Yeah, which is alright.
The Aether Walker gets plus 10% damage for each buff that it has on.
Indeed.
Which is phenomenal, because a lot of any of your spells that have target self, that's how it works.
Yep. I also like the other one, which gives you plus 10 movement speed on enemy kill. I think that's also very good as well, and I think that's also better than the Pyro. We got another tribute point here. Nice. That's now a little bit out of date. Yeah, I think there's some good ones here. So we got a couple of Ether Blades. I'm not going to use them though. Doom Unlimited.
Do you like the Ether Blade? I've been kind of rushing for that.
I've not tried it yet, but I'm not trusting it enough to use it, in all honesty. I find that the AoE staff ability is pretty much what I'm after. I need a fire ability or heat ability, and that's a kinetic, so it would probably work with your skill tree with a kinetic damage increase. But with the Pyro, it doesn't make much sense. About the release date of the game, when we'll finally get our Stronghold defense missions and driving some Baneblade. So, yeah, that is right, that vehicle combat was something, and was kind of tucked off of the roadmap. I have a feeling it's gone the same direction as the Fortress system, where it's still in their design plan, but they've basically had to postpone it to actually make in-game stuff instead. Let's just open this. I believe the Fortress system is something they still want to do, but it's something they're going to do after the game is released as like an extra add-on. It is... I would say it's entirely likely we'll still get it. It's just going to be a case of other stuff needs to happen first. Right, so none of those are any use. None of that's any use. That is slightly better than what I've got. Not a lot better. Inoculator capacity, whatever. We'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that, get rid of that. Now, I am good to go, Pro. How about you?
Got a new spell. Give me 1 second.
Exciting
I'm still
times.
leveling. I know, right?
Fair enough. Any other questions about the game, guys? You just fire away if you want to know anything. But I will be asking them, Doom, to basically give us an updated roadmap. I might not ask them to do that in the interview because it might be a little bit too much info to do all at once, but I'll at least try and put a bit of pressure on them and ask them very politely to go ahead and... Oh, telekinetic rod. Give us an updated version. Right. Couple new things here. Something else that I think really has to change now that leveling is so goddamn fast. The purple crafting times, now they need to be reduced, especially during the leveling process, because there is no point. It's basically put something onto craft before you go to bed. That is the only way you can viably use it, because 3 hours is way too much. It's just completely not worth it. Yep.
Save them. Save them.
Yeah, I am. I am.
Just make greens as you're going up.
Yep.
There's
I
no
think
reason
that's
for it.
good sound advice there. Good sound advice. But then by the time you get to the end game, it's all about relics anyway. And then the purples very quickly become irrelevant. But I guess you can use the purple materials to make yourself awesome stuff to make your relic items better. But yeah. Indeed. The retinue system's something we're going to get the developers to talk about, but it isn't something we know pretty much anything about at the moment. So, well, just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see what they say. Signum belts, rifles. How do you feel about having some signums? Purple signum?
Sure.
Ooh.
I think we need to remake the party first. I'm going to restart the client because...
Yeah, I'll send you another invite.
Run into any bugs.
I may need to sell another purple. I need to sell one more purple. That is a good point with the crafting, Zolos. I'm not entirely sure if it does it based on your level at the time of collecting or level at the time of crafting. It's not something I've actually tested, so I'd be very curious to hear if that's the case. Because that's something definitely to factor in. Definitely worth factoring in there. Right.
Alright, go ahead.
Roger. I'll invite you in just a sec. I'm just making the mission at the moment. Actually, we'll go with rifle, pistol, one-handed melee. Yeah, I think that's a better thing to do. We'll do don't die, and we'll do that as well, so we get lots of rank points. That looks good, and we'll create the mission.
Yeah, rod and pistol is amazing.
Yeah, rod and pistol I think is fun. I mean, you can either go kinetic or you can go heat with it. There's not really... There is a demonology way of doing it. Not a demonology, a biomancer way of doing it, but it's not as good. It's not as good.
The Aether Blade is what you need for biomancy.
Yeah, it seems that way. Right, Kabul.
Which is why I want it. That lightning is too good.
Yeah, the lightning is cool. The lightning is very cool. Right, let's fire on. It could be that. It could be that, Zolos. It could be that it is based on the character that collects it, indeed. I'm not entirely sure. the vehicle battles. It's not something I'll ask them within the interview, Doom, because I'd be 90% sure they're going to say it's going to be something they're still thinking of in post-release. But I will ask them that in general chit-chat and let you know in the next stream during the week. I try not to ask too many yes or no questions within the interview because, well, the majority of answers are normally no. Or vague ambiguousness. How and where are you, a pro?
Next to you.
Okay, cool. Just can't see you.
I just got in.
No, still can't see you. That's fine.
You can see my pillar of flame, though.
It's probably me. Yeah, I can see your pillar. It's fine.
It's because I alt F4'd out.
Yeah, apparently that does... there's something Dewey was doing to make this work where he was alt-tabbing or something and he didn't then have to restart as well. But it's fine. We're doing the mission. That's what counts. And we're leveling up.
Just get a Spectre.
Alright, some lovely graphical artifacts here. Now, my expectation for the retinue is not that it's going to turn the game into a squad-based system. Like, I think some people are a little bit ambitious with their hopes with that, in truth. Just because I honestly think if this was going to have a squad feature in it, it should have had it a long, long time ago when we're figuring out balancing and all of the core combat mechanics. If you look at the systems of Van Helsing, I think it's going to echo something from that, where you can basically micromanage tasks that your people on your ship are doing. And I would say it's more than likely going to be a bit like Knights of the Old Republic, where you can get one guy to sort of get you extra fate from missions by doing interrogations. You could get one guy to get you extra glory. I think something like that is more likely to be. It'll be a mini game. But we shall wait and see. We shall wait and see. I mean, there may be opportunities to take some of them on missions with you, but again, I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to be a standard thing where every mission you go down with 2 or 3 people fighting with you. I'm not too sure. Maybe. I'm trying to set my base expectations sort of as realistic as possible.
You already triggered it.
That's all good. Okay, I'm teleporting out of there. Have I just left you to die?
Nope.
Cool. So I have no idea where you are.
Right
It'd be cool if I could see you on the map. That would be handy.
So the trap was okay to pop, right?
Yeah. Easy peasy. Oh.
Yeah, get that flamer, man. Get it.
Burn, my pretties, burn. Oh, so much carnage. It's beautiful. Oh, dying.
Yeah, I just went down.
Ah, I overheated the turret.
Oh, you can't see me, so you can't res me.
Yep, you'll need to respawn.
Well, dang.
Even if you die and get resurrected, it still counts as a death now. It doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it still counts. Me and Dewey did it numerous times. Every single time it still said that. Changing the plot. I mean, I hope there's some choice systems. Well, there's a morality system within the game. That is still due as well. That's one of the other features due. And in that sense, there will be choice. However, how much of an impact that's going to have on the story will be difficult. And I guess you've also got to take into consideration that there is going to be choice based into the season system, but it's going to take the average of the player base to have an impact on the next story rather than your individual choice. And I think that's just so that they don't literally have to double their production time to make 2 simultaneous stories. So there will be opportunities to make choice definitely within seasons. I'm not sure for the campaign, but the season choice system is on a macro level, so the whole player base is going to determine the story. So, for example, you'll all go down to a planet and you'll all have to make a decision to, I don't know, do exterminatus on a planet, or to try and save the inhabitants by killing it. So you'll make your choice, you'll play it out, but then at the end of that season, during the final event, going forward into the next season, the story then will depend on the overall average player choice. So if the average player chose to do exterminatus, then that planet will be dead, irrespective of which choice you individually went for. That's what we know so far. Stress. But yes, as per usual, I'm getting Victor to talk about the story system yet again, because just with every single interview, it's worth talking about, because it's the main feature of this game, is the season system. Oh, I need to blow up some of these. Sorry, you were there, weren't you?
Hi.
Hi. Just remember, I need to keep blowing those up so I can get the heat tree unlocked.
That makes sense. Trap, by the way. Let yourself then
okay.
forward.
I'll let you take care of that. I'll just shoot demons. And I'll tell you the other thing I am looking forward to in this game more than anything else. Can you guess what it is, Apostle?
Not sure. What is it?
I'll give you a clue. It's really smooth. You want to know
that texture pack, or that
the working anti-aliasing.
Yes, anti-aliasing. That's right.
If you look at their footage, one of their trailers they released looked incredibly smooth. The actual gameplay of the graphics, the actual textures during that looked a lot better than what we currently have. And that is because they were using a anti-aliasing that's currently sort of coming in and out of development, and I heard it was nearly ready like 6 months ago, so I have no idea when it's actually coming out, but it's going to make a very big visual difference to many players, I think, and basically just make the game look better. And I am all up for that. Oh my god, it's still not dead.
It's standing in a healing glow.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, my burns are supposed to prevent regeneration, but I guess it's not regeneration, it's healing. There you go. There you go. So that's some more little teasers for you guys to look forward to. Right, we're one more mission and we'll go up an account level. The account levels are coming in a little bit slower, I have to say. They are not particularly speedy, but then the higher your level... Oh, what do we get here? We got a force sword. We've got a bolt pistol, which is kind of nice, but not exactly what I want. Right, so now I'm out of fate to do those things. Oh, and I've got a skill point. So I can do some regular missions if you fancy.
Sure. I got a new staff. Give me 1 second.
Duration of bleeds. What else can we do? Can we do anything else that makes our dots better? Heat resistance goes into burn damage. Now, this is one I never get. 0.5% of your heat resist goes into burn damage. That is not a lot. That's like 1 point at most. Don't quite get that. I have a feeling it's either a typo or it's something where the tooltip just hasn't kind of been filled in properly. Right, we'll probably work in towards... Oh, we're nearly there with our heat attacks. Now, the reason I'm looking forward to this is energy and heat weapons deal extra damage when the overheat bar is over 50%. Of course, that is nice. Extra heat damage, always good. Minus 20% less heat, absolutely amazing. 5% damage, less crit, also very good. Heat damage, also good. Very good one. Critical hits also bestow a burn, not quite so useful. Plus 2% heat for every pyromancy skill mounted on the skill slot, not too bad. Generally speaking, pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Critical hits bestow a stacking vulnerability on the target, so you could work heat into a critical hit build quite well. I believe they do, Andre, because the heat abilities work on the heat pistol. The Inferno pistol works with the heat shield, so that that works. So I believe that's how it works. So yes, that's what I want to do. I want to work towards targets suffer an extra 3% damage penalty for every point of stacked vulnerability bestowed on them. So I can stack and stack and stack loads of damage reduction on them. That's my plan. Right, do you want to go for a fairly tough one, Pro? Are you feeling...
Sure, let's do it.
Feeling brave? What's the tub? We got 700. Yeah.
It'll be balanced to you anyway, so I'm not worried.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm picking difficult in regards to my level. I think both of these are demon though. Our Chaos Legion Vanguard. I think that would be slightly more achievable.
Premium?
No, standard.
Okay.
I'm all out of premiums right now. Oh no, I do have a premium story mission. We'll give that a go next. Wadavan staff is good, apparently, according to OLED. I don't remember which staff I'm using right now.
I'm gonna restart the client so we don't get that party bug again.
Yeah, I'm... Oh. You're not in my party, are you? You were in my party.
I was, but I didn't see you in the party, so I just figured I'd restart before I bugged it out.
I have quit. So I will get you back in.
Oh, okay.
I am a fool. I loaded in and didn't see your name there, and I was like, "Ah, man, shit! I didn't invite you to the party."
Before you quit out, I think there's a new thing where you can press the escape menu, and it allows you to invite people into your game.
Oh.
I saw that earlier in a multiplayer game.
We can beta test that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We've got the money sound at the moment, the infinite money sound. So basically, we're raking in the Dora.
Yeah.
Auto pistol. I'd like a new Inferno pistol, really. A purple one at that. I've got a bolt pistol here, but bleh, not too good. Right, precognitive dodge is my new gem. Yeah, it is pretty good.
It is amazing.
It is pretty damn good, I have to say. And applying that to allies as well, like applying that to an assassin that already has maybe up to 30% dodge. Wow.
Yeah, I already have it on my bar with symbiosis for when.
Yeah, I mean, so you're basically the team Bard. That's your.
Yep.
That's your jams. So
I named my character Buffsuki.
Buffs. I like it. I like it a lot. How's the loading going your end? Or are we just sending you an invite?
Just go ahead and invite. Let's do it that way.
Send you an invite. Do here. We'll go for the Chaos Vanguard. This one's going to be tough.
Okay.
Yeah. Having a high mitigation for those is super handy. Oh, this is a Purge. What's the other one? Oh, screw it. Let's do it.
Purge. Oh, man.
Yeah, but you get more experience on... Oh, it's a small map. Never mind.
You actually do get experience for kills now.
Yeah, you get experience for kills. You get a little bonus at the end.
Hey, is that fortress thing up again? Can we farm that? Like the waves?
Dunno. I don't think it is, actually. I haven't seen it anyway. No. Right, so now I've got the proper bug again, so let's zap the game. Don't worry, everyone. Don't panic. I know it's a black screen. The game's going to reload. This is just the multiplayer situation at the moment. It happens every single milestone. The multiplayer has a few options. They have to do a few back-end coding changes, and then it works again. And I can only presume it's the byproduct of them making their own engine, which it used to be the Unreal Engine some years ago, and they basically bodged it into a Hungarian engine. And I can only think that's why some errors are fairly consistent. I don't know, maybe not. I'm only guessing. I know absolutely nothing about game engines other than what they do. I can see you! Ah!
But I can't see you. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm moving forward. Oh, I'm moving forward so much. Through the door. Right, here we go. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, the pistol was real. Pow. Explosions! All the explosions, give them to me! Right, so that was without my buff. Let's apply my buff. Can you see my fire shield by any chance?
No, I can't.
Ah, that would make it easier to spot me.
Oh, Firestorm! I can't wait till I get to that. It's gonna be so amazing.
Dude, that's so nice. So nice. 50% extra damage to fire attacks is nothing to squibble at. That's why I'm a big fan of this tree in terms of damage output. It's pretty big.
But in terms, oh no, don't lock the door on me.
It's alright, I opened the chest. Now we can run. Right, I got this.
The gobblers.
I think we killed them. Can you imagine what the frames would have been like on this? Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful.
I can see you. I'm like rubbing on something.
I can feel something poking me. There we go. You go, boom. Right, we got this. I like the Flaming Pillar of Death. It's a pretty cool spell. You dead, my friend.
Oh yeah, I went down so hard. I don't even know what hit me.
Flamer, I think. Oh, it might have been the Psyker. I'll probably be able to get you up. Maybe. Come on. Have at me.
Death has no consequence in regular missions.
Yeah.
Come on, you gotta scream out your autism. Let's do it.
Right. Okay. Bit of stress there. Oh my god. Right, you're up. You're up. I'm also built full tanky, so I've actually got 4k hit points. I've got a lot of stuff invested into health and such. I find it so useful, and I really miss not having it. I really think they need to lower that down to 100 hit points for the health tree, because it's good and it's too good. Because even on the Crusader, I really like just on every class I like it, because it's so damn good. You just are so noticeably more tanky. The thing is,
you start with it as the Aether Walker, by the way, guys. HB,
that's worth knowing. Because I had to wait patiently for that one. The thing is, if you go for damage, you get like 1% at a time, or 1.5% at a time. Whereas if you go for health, you get 5% health as a squishy class anyway, per point invested. It's just infinitely more efficient. I mean, if this were like a role-based MMO, you could make an argument that a squishy shouldn't need the extra health, but this is an ARPG and you need the extra health, or it really helps.
It's the difference between lying on the ground and getting away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's an extra 30% time to react to something, which is quite a lot. I'm blind. I can see Jesus. Haha! No one expects me to teleport behind them. That's some elite teleporting skills there. Right, we're cooking with the gases. So I want to know other people's builds too. I mean, how's the melee build working out for you, OLED? I know that was your jam at the mo. I don't see, even with all the mitigation and abilities in the world, a melee build being anything but dangerous for yourself. And not too threatening for enemies. I can't see how it will work, but maybe it can. I hope it can, because I'd like the idea. I mean, they've put swords in the damn game. They better be freaking usable.
The bio sword is pretty awesome.
So I've not. Is that the? I've seen the phasing sword, the sort of teleport at them type sword.
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that looks interesting. But I can only think on a mission like this that it's going to be really rough to try and use. I think this will.
Well,
it'll be.
I think the goal would be getting in, because the idea would be having a lot of buffs, making sure you stay up, don't go down, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean with the sword as well, you can get double deflect with it as a perk with the tanking tree, so you could use that plus the 40% ranged attack dodge. I mean, you might be able to get up to like 90% range damage dodge with that. I think you
especially with like precognitive dodge and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Precognitive dodge. I got it. Oh, and I got him. So much ouch. So much ouch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going. I didn't mean to.
Run away, dude.
Yeah, I am. Okay. Whoa. The Psyker actually hits like a truck now. Yeah, Dark Elves and Night Lords are coming in the final release of the game, so you're not going to be seeing them anytime soon, unfortunately. Come on, lose a little bit more health. I want to use my inoculator. There we go. No! Oh, I need my hotkey sorted. I looked at my keyboard for it, and I'm a mess, basically. I'm a mess. A sticky mess. But it's fine. It's only a Purge mission. Right. Updating enemies, yeah. The last three faction, Night Lords, Alpha Legion, and Dark Elder will be in the game at final launch.
Did you notice there's a range attack now on those melee Space Marines?
I did not.
Yeah, it took out like half my health in one hit.
Was that the Psyker, though?
No, it's like they point at you.
Oh. Are you sure that wasn't the Psyker? The Sorcerer?
No, I just saw it. Was it I don't know. No,
yeah, that was the
melee
Sorcerer.
Guy.
Yeah, he has a sword, but he also does the occasional spell, and that hits like a truck.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It does a lot more damage than it used to. He's definitely the most threatening, like casual enemy you see, or champion rather.
Was not expecting that.
Yep. Oh. Oh, you're surviving quite a bit there.
Not anymore.
Alright, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We're rocking through this. Not too shabby. Oh. I do like the teleport ability too. It's kind of handy for... Ugh. Kind of handy because I set it off. Just saw that as I walked through it.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. There's another one on the other side too, so watch out for that.
Alright. Right, I'm in their face killing their dudes. So much jam, so much trouble.
I had to back off.
The inoculator reset is literally the only thing that keeps me alive in the majority of these fights. Come on, get my health a little lower. Didn't even break a sweat.
Are you using warp speed?
Warp speed? No, I'm not.
Yeah, it's really good if you're using like a pistol or something like that.
Yeah, it is. I'm just sort of capped out on... The trouble is when you use a pistol is that takes 2 slots, then your offhand takes another, so you only get 2 abilities. And the Pyromancer shield is 100% mandatory. So I could go for a pistol upgrade, but I've gone for the massive AoE ability instead, which I just find, given the fact you've got a pistol, pretty useful. But I probably... That skill's probably interchangeable. Don't mind me, hill brute. Daka. Oh, move a little bit. Yep, just a little there. Yep, hold that. Nice. Like a pro. One enemy left.
Yep, it's this warp gate back here.
Nice. Oh, good job. Good job. Well, I will be honest, Doom. I have no idea if we're going to get everything that we've been promised by release. I don't want to say if we are or aren't, but I would be surprised if we get 100%. I think we will get close to it. There are already some features they've said they're going to have to push back a little bit to just... Oh, I got absolutely nothing in the way of account XP for that 400. Normal mission XP is absolutely balked. Got 11 fate for it. Let's see if I can take you on a priority assignment then.
Alright, yeah, let me reset my client, so I don't want to get that party bug.
Yep, no probs. I think this is the premium mission. That one is the 650, I think, is the story campaign. And that one is... Well, what we can do actually is we can just do this, and that will tell us which one's the stories. Okay.
Is it named like story mission?
No, it's a placeholder. Like so, but basically,
yeah, placeholders are good. You can do placeholders then.
Campaign mission chapter 3 in 5 name placeholder story campaign mission. I think. Well, I know we can definitely do the other one because that's a subsector story. Oh, your priority assignments are broken, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, it means he's going nowhere real fast.
Yeah, that's not cool. You have some problems. How are they broken for you, my friend? Right, and let's get a pro back in here. Right, account XP. Yes, okay, and this is campaign. Yep, Secrets of the Caligari Sector. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's roll. Are you ready?
1 second. There we go. That should be good.
Tense. 75 rank points as well. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. It's fairly quick to hit 22. I mean, if all of the campaign was in, and the campaign, because there's supposed to be 10 chapters of it, if all of that was in, I think it probably would take you with less than a week to hit max level. Maybe.
Well, less than a week to hit max rank.
Yeah, to hit max rank. I mean, account level doesn't... But I think a lot of the problem with the account level is that you're not getting the experience you should be from most of these missions because there's something still wrong with it. Like, there's so many times I've gotten, like, 400 instead of 1,400 or 200 when I should have got 1,000. And I think that's why my account level's sagging behind a little bit. But from what I understand, you basically don't need to do many normal missions within the game. You kind of just can do all the priorities and stuff, do the occasional investigation, and that's kind of enough to propel you through it. I might be wrong, but we'll have to see. I'm just reloading the level, guys. Don't worry about the black screen. Yep, Inquisitor Retinue is on the roadmap, Ronnie. It's on the roadmap. It's also something that's been discussed once or twice in a couple of the interviews that I've done. So there is some information out there on it, but it is very, very vague at the moment. So it's something we can look forward to. They haven't said what's happening with it, but it was due in December. So, but I will be giving you some more information on that on Wednesday during the developer interview I'll be doing. Well, I'll be releasing. The interview will already be done by then, but...
I can see you on my mini-map. It's a good sign.
Oh, that's a good start. I can't see you.
Okay.
This is a very one-sided sort of bug. It's fine, though. I mean, we can still do the mission. Oh, so much death and destruction.
Oh, dude, that was glorious.
It's beautiful. I dig the AoE with this build.
Oh man, I'm jealous now. I shouldn't have gone to buff build.
Buff build is cool. Like, buff build is cool.
It's even better when you just build it for single player, because you can build for that HP regen on each one of your buffs.
Yep.
So you can just basically stand there and tell everything that.
I'm all down for cruising builds. This is just a high damage output build I've got that's also high tanky. I've just prioritised the the stats in terms of damage and the skills in terms of the stats in terms of tankiness and the skills in terms of damage. That's what I'm sort of rocking at the moment. Right, and we've probably got another 50 things to blow up until I can finally use the heat tree, but then I'm going to need a load more skill points to actually be able to use it, so we'll see. Come on! Crush them! I quite like the sound the Inferno pistol uses as well. It's a nice sort of satisfying one. The bolt pistol worked fairly well for this build, but yeah, they will expand on the retinue. Gergo's already said to me that he will be able to give us a little bit of information on it, and I think as it's due to be released very soon now, that they can say stuff without so much concern. But again, my thoughts on retinue system, I'm not expecting this to magically turn into a squad-based game or to have two AIs wandering around with you in single player all the time. I'm not sure that's going to be exactly what it is, but we'll find out. We will find out.
If you want fun AI to wander around with you, just go with either the Inferno, Pillar of Fire,
yep.
Or go Crusader and get yourself some turrets.
Or go play Van Helsing, and you get Katarina.
Yeah, that's true. And she is probably one of the best AI companions ever.
She is amazing. I mean, I fell in love with her accent. She's everything right about the world.
Yes.
I sort of like.
If they could replicate her in this, that would be amazing. Trap.
Yeah. So much. Okay.
I got it open.
Yeah. So much stress. I mean, the Victor already kind of said, like, well, I can't really make Katarina in 40k because there's too much humour and banter. But if they could make a 40k equivalent, I'd be all down.
Yeah, I would just take her as like a rogue trader you bring in. Done.
Yeah, exactly.
She would totally fit in.
I think, though, one of the other problems is that Games Workshop IP isn't very big on sort of just throwing random Eastern Europeans into their games. It's sort of, you have to be British or get out. I mean, that's what Martyr told me anyway. They were basically limited to British voice actors. They had no choice. Because Games Workshop has the ultimate say in who does the voice acting for the game.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
You can request people, but they kind of have a pre-list, I think, of people that they will accept and a very unique style. And although people accuse Games Workshop of having no control over their IP, that they actually, in terms of concepts, they do have quite a tight leash in terms of what you can and can't do. It's just sort of what the developers do in terms of game design doesn't always please some people. They don't seem to have a very tight leash in terms of game design. They seem to be quite well, and they've certainly let a lot of games come out that are just trash. But
well, what happens is that they're kind of doing like a kind of free-for-all. They're letting all the games intercompete, which is really great, as long as they're all remaining true to the IP, so the player base doesn't get disinterested. Yeah,
but you look at the stocks and shares of Games Workshop, like they're not going to change what they're doing.
No, because they're doing amazing. Working really well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the trouble is people will get frustrated with the bad games, and the way human nature is you get twice as frustrated with the bad games as you do getting happy with the good games. So everyone tends
But it's more like a Darwinism, though. You know, the good games survive and gobble up all the little ones.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I think that there is... One of the issues is that people are still expecting a AAA style game in 2018, and I think AAA style games 10 years ago by THQ and Relic were far more achievable, but now it's all indie, and I think it's just because I've just set off loads of traps, haven't I?
Yeah.
Warhammer is a niche. In my view, Warhammer is a niche, and like if you make a first-person Warhammer game, none of the COD people are going to jump on it because it's Warhammer. They would only jump on it if it was a really good first-person shooter, and I don't know. I think it's the same for an MMO. Like Warhammer Online was a good MMO, and that still failed. In its prime, it still had a player base that was dwarfed by loads of other games, and it was a good game apparently. So I don't know. I think Warhammer is in a tough spot where actually indie developers are probably, or up-and-coming indie developers are probably where it's at. I might be wrong though. I mean, maybe there will be a. Oh, there are exceptions. There's the Total War series, and they've done such a good job. But even then, though, I guess a lot of the Total War fans don't like Total War Warhammer. It's mainly the Warhammer fans, but I have no idea how financially successful the Total War Warhammer series is. I would presume pretty goddamn successful, but ugh. Yeah, that's the general view I hear on Warhammer Online, is that people really liked it. Those that played it had a smashing time, but
you can still play it. It's a Return of Reckoning for those interested.
That's that one. Heading towards 23. We've reached the next level. Oh, we have reached the next level. Ah, what is this?
25 for 10.
Oh, apparently this requires level 23 to use.
What, rank 23 to use?
Crafting finished. What am I using? Sorry, I've confused myself. There was a sword. I swear there was a sword I just picked up that it said I was too bad to use. But now I have absolutely no idea what's going on. -1 spread on an eye implant. That would be pretty cool on a bolt pistol, has to be said. With the minus spread ability on the thing, that's on the Psyker ability, that's really good. Applying that with a bolt pistol full auto. That is tasty. Right. Let's sell a few bits. Are we getting anywhere close? No, we're nowhere near being able to do another mission. We'll just see if there's any new things in here that we can get while we're here. Plasma. We need an Inferno pistol. That's what I really want, but there aren't any. Right. Should we have a crack at the next one? Did you get rank XP for that, by the way?
I did. I just need 25 more for 10.
Nice. Nice. Well, this is going to be rough. Oh, are you relogging?
Yeah, I'm relogging, so I don't... Because we had that party mode before.
No worries. This will probably be my last mission for the moment. And then I will relog later after tea time.
Tea time.
I want to get in the good books and do a little bit of washing up before she gets home. And other such things. Level 9. You getting there? So what I'm really curious of is, how does Total War Warhammer's player base numbers compare to the other Total War games? Oh.
Just go to the YouTube channel. Just go to the YouTube videos and see how many people are commenting on stuff, man. It's pretty huge.
Oh, I can't select that mission. I can select that one. I can select that one. Okay. That's interesting. I'll try and select this other one down here and see what happens. Right. Travel to here. Maybe it's just too high for me. I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look. Hunt. Select mission. Yeah, okay, we can do this. 80 rank points. Groovy. This one shouldn't be co-op, but as you say, it's a placeholder, so it should be alright.
Yeah.
Because it's only coded like a normal co-op, like a normal mission. Groovy, groovy. And by the way, anyone that's new here, welcome to the stream. I'm going to be trying to do 1 to 2 streams a week, but obviously there's so much hype at the moment, so much to talk about, so much to do in terms of builds. happy throwing a few out. It's something I'm going to try and figure out a regular schedule, but releasing videos at least 2 a week, hopefully 3, is the plan for the foreseeable. Again, don't worry about the black screen, just going to restart the game. And I do also need to do some other videos related to Necromunda terrain and other such things, but they'll go on the back burner for a little bit. Next couple of weeks are going to be all about this Psyker thing, this Martyr thing, and, well, everything about this thing. What's up, Mikey? You don't have the exact number, but yeah, I think quite a few Total War fans do play it. I'm not 100% sure if it's more successful or less successful than their other Total War games. That's what I'm super curious of. These guys don't actually need to die. Oh, these will only take a second to kill, so...
More XP, man.
Yeah.
I like it. They finally reward us for killing stuff, so we're not just speedrunning missions anymore.
Yep.
Best decision they ever made.
Yeah, it needed to happen. It needed to happen. A lot of things that need to happen in the game do happen eventually, but there are some things that players want to happen that I think are less likely. To take an example, there's a Steam forum post out there at the moment with someone saying that the combat's still really boring, slow and sluggish, and they gave a long list of things they didn't like about the game, and the overall conclusion that I could come to is just they don't like the game. The list of things they wanted to change was basically just saying, please make another game. And I think if you watch this and or if you play it and you enjoy it a bit, I think you'll enjoy it more by the final product. But if you don't enjoy it at all now, I think you're going to be in the same boat at final release. I don't think this will be a game for all players to necessarily enjoy equally. I really hope that didn't blow you up.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Well, it'll get me a couple closer to my heat thing.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I could help.
I can actually see you now as well, so I don't even have an excuse. I'm just a bad person. And I think that is the girlfriend home, so I may have to mute myself in a little bit, guys. Or tell her that I am streaming. She's early. Oh, there you go. Maybe she'll just let home early. Right. Let's rock and roll. Try and kill this. Right, there we go. One of these left to kill, so 10 stacks of vulnerability, please. Or no stacks of invulnerability, because I'm overheating. Yeah, the only downside of this build is I run out of heat before I can apply 10 stacks. Well, if you've put more time into this game than the majority of games you own, then you're definitely in the camp of people that like it. And I think you are safe. I think it's the players that have put half an hour into the game or less than and said, I don't like this, I'm coming back in a month or two when it's not a piece of shit. I think those players, and that's me quoting them by the way, I don't think they will ever be happy. The best thing to do is probably to think of this as being probably going to be receiving the same level of polish, maybe a bit more than Van Helsing did, but it's never going to feel like Diablo or Path of Exile. It's never going to feel like Diablo 3's combat fluidity, and it's never going to be like Path of Exile's build customization. It's going to have its own direction, and if you don't like it, that's my view anyway, and I mean I might be wrong, but that's the way I kind of see this. It's going to be a quirky ARPG. What's going to make it good is going to be the season content, it's going to be the more community-driven stuff, and that will not be for everyone. But I think for the people that it will be for, it will be successful to them. I mean, how do you judge a game's success? If a minority love it, is it successful? I don't know. Maybe it won't be a minority, maybe it will be a fair majority, who knows? Well, in terms of polish, I'm sure it's going to be bug fixed more than the Van Helsing games are going to be, because the Van Helsing games, I will admit, were abandoned kind of before their time, which was sad. And even some of the staff I've spoken to are kind of a little bit sad about this. That they did sort of just suddenly pause development in order to move on to this, which was sad because a lot of its bad reviews are due to bug fixes that just never happened. Hey you! I'll be off in 5 minutes, okay? Groovy. I'm streaming, by the way. Just so she doesn't come in and say what she wants to do to me. Happens. Got to keep this family friendly, haven't we, Pro?
Sure.
Sure.
Tell it to the Discord.
Yeah, tell that to the Discord. Oh god, yeah. Wait till we do some 5-man co-op, 3-man co-op, 4-man co-ops. We'll get there eventually. Ugh. Right, there we go. Looking good. What did I hear about the Gladius Relics of War game? Well, I did do a little bit of a talk on it. Looks like it's going to be good for people that like turn-based RTSs that are also hex-based. And again, it's going to be... I think that game's in a tough spot because it's a niche within a niche. Most Warhammer players will like Total War because it's so generic and polished and good. The idea of a really turn-based hex game, I think, is going to funnel that player base down to maybe 10% of those people. And oh, 200 random fate and 100 rank points. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Right, so that looks pretty good. Yeah, I think the game looks fairly promising, but I think it'll be, again, good for a minority of players. But who knows? Might well be better. So, guys. Hope you enjoy the stream. I'll see you next time, and stay tuned. Video coming out in, I'd say, half an hour's time. I'll publish it, and it's just going to be some leveling tips for you guys, but if you've watched the stream, you're probably going to know most of them. And stay tuned for the interview, probably coming out Tuesday, Wednesday. And Pro, I'll see you in a mo.